What's going on, everybody? Today I'm doing something interesting, unique, and different. Today what we're going to do is we're going to celebrate the fact that I had a really great Father's Day. Your father, hope you had a great Father's Day. You celebrated a father, I hope it was a good time. I had a great Father's Day, and I want to celebrate by introducing new artwork from my son, and we're going to turn this into something. Let's go! What's up, party people? My name is Dave Connery, and I'm an artist designer based in Southern California, and I am really happy that my son occasionally likes to indulge me with some of his own artistic creativity. This piece was actually done a little while ago. I think I said in the beginning, I think it was new, but it's not really new. This idea is new, and what we're going to do today, this is one of my favorite pieces he ever made. I really like this piece a lot. It just looks kind of cool, and I thought to myself, you know, this would look really neat on like something like more than just like a piece of paper. This is just a basic piece of craft paper that he got from school, but I think this would be really cool on something like a mug. I was thinking, why don't we take this, turn this into a mug, and then we'll make the mug, and then he can have a mug, and I can have a mug, and maybe if you were interested, you can have a mug too. Okay, little sidebar here. A couple years ago, he and I started an Instagram page called Coffee and Go Nuts. It was basically us going to different coffee shops and different donut shops and kind of reviewing donuts and talking about stuff like that, but the motivation for him kind of fell off. But I've held that Instagram page for a while now, and I just decided, hey, I got an idea. Why don't I create a secondary, like say an Etsy shop, and put nothing up there but coffee mugs. So I started this Etsy page called Coffee and Go Nuts, and I'm just putting up mugs up there right now. I've only got a couple up there now, but I thought, you know, like I'm just taking these random ideas and putting them up on mugs, and sometimes it's a quippy little quote for fun, sometimes it's like an artistic thing, and I thought maybe if I did that here, what if I could just take this and stripe this section in, or maybe this section, or maybe multiple sections, and stripe that into a coffee mug, and then it would just be something that, you know, somebody else could buy or we could buy, and all of the proceeds, everything that gets sold for that particular mug will go to the boy, because this is his art and he should be making money. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna take this, we're gonna put it onto a template, and we're gonna send that off to Printful, so that they can go and produce mugs for that, and then everybody in the world can go buy one. But first things first, we need to get this into the computer, to the internet. Well, actually, to the scanner, which is over here. Okay, so I moved the camera from over there to over here because the screen's over here, and if I was looking here and the camera was over there, I wouldn't be focusing on the microphone, and the microphone would be weird, so I moved it. How you doing? Anyway, so here we are. We've got a template set up. Now, this document here, right, is, what are we looking at? Like something like 2,700 pixels by a little over 1,000 pixels. I go Command I, you can see it as, let's change this to inches. It's basically a 9 by 3.5 inch document at 300 DPI. And that's what Printful requires for their mugs. This is their template that I've just basically stripped everything out of because I don't really need all the other extraneous stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna acquire an image. That's the first thing I need to do. Acquire the image off of the printer. It's already, or the scanner, it's already ready there for me. Let the scanner warm up. All right, so here's the basics. Got it down, looks pretty good. I'm not too worried. It's kind of unstraight, but you know, I mean, it was done by a small child. I'm not too worried about it being perfectly straight. We've got color, we've got 1200 DPI because I really want to make sure that I scan it large enough. Who knows what I may do with this at some other time. Maybe this artwork will turn into something else down the road. Maybe I can put pillows or bed cover or towels. I don't know. The only thing I know is that if I want to do this right, I should make sure I get it at the right resolution from the start. I can always size it down. Basically keeping the standard settings here. The custom size is done because I changed it to 1200 DPI. I don't need to do it. Maybe I'll reduce dust low. Don't need to do any of this. Don't need to do any grain correction because I do kind of want to keep a little bit of that grit and grain in there. So if it comes through, then great. I'm not going to do any of this. If it was showing through, this would, like when you have like a piece of paper and there's maybe something showing through, it kind of reduces that, but there's not a problem with that, but I keep it up there anyway. The first thing we need to do, I'm going to do is select all. I can drag and create, you know, the selection if I want to, but really I'm just going to select all because I just want the whole thing. So I just... Okay, so two things happened when I scanned this in. Number one, it came in huge. Look at the size of this thing. It's 10,000 pixels by 14,000 pixels. It's probably a little bit bigger than I need. So I'm just gonna reduce this down a little bit. We're gonna take this down on the big side, down to 10,000. That's still a big file, but I don't need it quite as big as it was, so we can resize that a little bit. The other thing that happened is that the color changed in this, and I'm not sure what it is about my settings on my scanner right now that changed. I'm not terribly disappointed in it. It wasn't exactly what I expected, but yeah, so it's okay. We're gonna work with it. I'm just gonna make some adjustments here by the levels. The color is a little bit off, but I'm okay with that. It's a little organic in that way, and I think I'm okay with that. I think I'm gonna be okay with it. I think it's kind of cool. I think it will lend itself to this design. Now, I'm not exactly sure how I'm gonna place this on that template, but I'm digging it, and we're just gonna work with what we got. What I think needs to be done is, first off, I need to create a layer that has all of those elements, and then I'm just gonna do Command-Alt to surround, or to select everything. I'm going to do a Command-C to copy it and then bring it in here by just Command-V. You can see that it's huge. It's gigantic. So we'll back this up a little bit. See if we can't find center point. And just bring this down a size. Shoot. So right now I'm keeping it just to see what it looks like in this portrait mode, to see if maybe that's going to bring in something interesting. I don't want to reduce it down too much more because I might want to do this, right? Maybe this is cooler. I don't know yet. I do like those lines in there, and I wish I could get more of them in there. And so I'm thinking that maybe I'm just going to reduce it down even more so that I can bring this down even further. But I don't want to lose too much of this. In fact, what I think I'm actually going to do, I'm going to back that sizing down, or back that sizing off, and I'm going to turn it this way. Because there's just something cool about a little bit of an angle there. Again, it doesn't matter. This is an organic image. So I'm just manipulating it a little bit just to see what is going to be the best approach here. And there's also the idea that maybe it goes better this way, right? I do kind of like this. Look at this. This is kind of like this kind of minimalist idea too. So what I was thinking is that I could almost create two separate designs out of this because there's just so much going on. But what if I did that? What if I turned that this way, right? And had this like this. Maybe size it back up a little bit because it's too much. This little black area here is a little too busy. I like it, but I don't want it to be too nuts. I'm thinking that. I think I'm gonna do that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna save this file right here. Command Option Shift Save. I'm gonna save that as a JPEG. Now I could save it as a PNG if I wanted to, but it's not a transparent background and I don't really need the PNG capabilities because that just makes a larger file size. So we'll just go ahead and export this. I'm gonna go back and we're gonna do that. I'll find that other one. Oops. Bring that angles back in like that. Bring the size back up a little bit. And I know that's the no-no, right? That's the no-no. Changing the size on the fly like that. But I think actually I'm going to go this way with it and find the coolest section here. There we go. We're going to call this one number 2. You can see the full image here, and it does really kind of show the kind of the grit. We're gonna go up here. We're gonna do a little bit of an unsharpened mask. Whoa, that is way too much, Dave. That is way too much. Way too much. But we're gonna come up here and bring that down to a 1-ish. Just kind of bring some of that up like that. I'm gonna hit apply. Now I did notice this hole right here. This is a hole in the thing, so we're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna go. Where is my stamp tool? Just hit S, Dave. Bring that down a little bit. Option click creates the place you're pulling from, and then when you click, it just erases or fills that gap right there. Okay, so there we go. The file's done, and now we're going to jump over to Printful, put this into Printful, and get this up into the Etsy shop right after that. Okay, so here we are on the Coffee and Go Nuts page of my Printful account. We're gonna go ahead and hit Add Product, and we're gonna scroll right down here to Home and Living, and then coffee mugs. Now, the reason I chose coffee mugs is number 1, it's simple. I like coffee, and coffee mugs goes with obviously coffee and donuts. Number 2, Printful, again, is still struggling with some of the direct-to-print stuff, meaning the clothing, the direct-to-garment, the pillows, the all-over stuff, even some of the embroidery, but the mugs seems to be okay. Their production on mugs seems to be on point. We're just going to go ahead and stick with the mugs for now, at least for this particular account, and just make some stuff. So we're going to make this super easy on ourselves because we already have the art. We already have 2 art. We already have it in a template that's already going to lay out. I'm only going to do the one size. I could normally, well, I could do the 15 ounce, but I'm not doing that here. So we're just going to select the one, and then we're going to upload our files. These are the ones, so we're going to go ahead and select both of those, and we're just going to open those up. And they're going to load up here into our platform. So we'll start here with number 1. And as you can see, it automatically lays right in. And you can go over here to the 3D view. Kind of move it around. See what the 3D one looks like. Kind of cool. I dig it. Just for fun. This is the mock-up view. This is what you'll get as a mock-up, because that's what Printful wants you to have for when you put it up in your site. Yes, we're good to go. So we'll go ahead. No print area background. We don't need to make any patterns. We don't need to center it because it should all be centered because of the template. So we're just going to go ahead and proceed to mock-ups. Now, I have a consistent thing happening right here, and I'm using these mock-ups right here, which is the environment mock-ups. I use this one. I kind of skip this one. I skip the pineapple, and I skip the watermelon, and I keep the donut because coffee and donuts, duh. So I keep these two, proceed to details. I'll fill this in later because what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste from one of my other things and pull that one in, and I just don't have it. Actually, let's just go ahead and do that right now. So we're going to go here. We're going to go back to the site, pull up one of these other mugs, go down here to the description, copy and paste. Oop, not all that. Not all that, Dave. I'm going to copy all of that. Select all by Command A, delete, Command V to paste. Now, this is obviously not the right description for that, so we're going to go ahead and we're just going to say, for the sake of this video, I'm just going to say this mug was a collaboration between me and my son. Please buy lots so he can go to college. Select my tags: coffee lover, coffee addict, caffeine, espresso, cappuccino, blah, 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 donut, crawler date. I'm just putting all these in. I may change these later. I display my product with free shipping because that's just the way I roll on this one. I'm charging $20 for these because that'll cover obviously the shipping, and that'll also cover some, a tiny little bit of profit for the man. And submit to store. And just like that, it will also allow me, like, hey, if you like that, you should try it on these other mugs too, but we're not doing that. And edit in Etsy. I can close these two. And there you go. I've got these two. I'm going to call it father and son mug. I'm going to change all my settings here. Capacity is 11. Fluid ounces. All this stuff is pretty standard stuff. Is it dishwasher safe? Is it microwave safe? Yes, of course it's got a handle. It's a mug. I don't know if it's enamel. It's definitely not insulated. I don't have a section. Let's add a section. We'll call this artistic mugs. We don't have any materials. This is the inventory is $9.99 because it's print on demand. We just never have enough. We never run out. There's no variations, no personalization on this one. That's something we might tackle down the road. Shipping is the Printful free shipping, which basically means they don't charge anything. We don't need to fill out any of this because I get a standard flat rate shipping from Printful, so we're not going to worry about any of that. And that's pretty much it. So we'll go down here and we will publish. So here it is. Father and son mug. Oops, they didn't want to do that. Let's go back to listings. Discard changes. Let's go back to the shop. Not showing up in the shop yet. Why is it not showing up in the shop yet? So here it is. Father and son mug. Oops, they didn't want to do that. Let's go back to listings. Discard changes. Let's go back to the shop. Not showing up in the shop yet. Why is it not showing up in the shop yet? Anyway, so there's the listing. It's ready to go. I'm going to go in. I'm going to change some of these details here. Fix it and finalize it. And then I'm going to add that other one as well. And basically going to make it two different versions of the same idea. So basically I could essentially just duplicate this one almost identically. So if I hone this one exactly right, the next one should be easy peasy. But yeah, so that's it. I'm also going to add a couple more mock-up images. One of the things I will say about this is that when I do these mock-ups, I do a secondary mock-up for this. If I just go in here, click this white glossy mug, and then I go and I choose my file, and we choose this one, and it's already go, and I just, where is it? Oh, there we go, generate files. So now I'm choosing the white mock-ups because I just think that that's a secondary, as a secondary image, I think these are important to have. So I'm generating these files. But here's the thing. This is the one thing that kind of frustrates me, or this is one of the many things that frustrates me about Printful that I just don't seem to understand. When I created those original files, Printful sent something higher resolution than 2000 pixels per square inch. But if I do these mock-up generated images, those are like 1000 pixels. So I have to upsize these just to get these mock-up images. And that's kind of irritating. It's just an extra step that I don't think I just don't understand why Printful won't generate the same size for everything. Just only generate the ones for Etsy right out of the gate, and anything you want to add additional, you have to do it. It's just a pain, Printful. Can you just not do that? Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and add these images and put those up on the shop. And by the time you see this video, this will be up and available. Okay, so there you go. That's me taking some of my son's art and turning it into mugs. And I'm just showing you so that maybe you could do the same thing with your kids. You can go and share this experience with your sons or your daughters or whoever, your mom or your grandmother or whatever. Go and make some of your own art and turn it into stuff so they can have something that they can be proud of. You can put it in your mug drawers, your mug cabinet. That way when people come over, you say, who made that mug? You say, I did, and my boy. Something to be proud of, and an opportunity to make a little bit of money on something that you would normally have just thought like, oh, this is cute, I'll put it on the refrigerator for a while until nobody's looking, and I'm gonna put that in the trash. Not gonna do that. This is one of my favorite pieces. I'm gonna keep this one for a really long time. But not before I exploit my child and his art. I'm not gonna exploit my child and his art. Like I said, if anybody buys one of those mugs, all of that money that gets made goes directly into his piggy bank. But if you like this video, please do me a favor, make sure you go and hit that like button. If you have any questions about this process, go down further and hit the comments and then ask me questions. And while you're going down that way, make sure you also hit that subscribe button. Make sure you also touch that little bell icon so you'd never miss out on another video. And you know, if you're feeling really super generous, you can go and share this video to all of your social media networks, because that would just be the best thing ever. That's gonna do it for this one, folks. And later on the week, I am going to do that Affinity Publisher video like I was talking about. I promised I would do it. I guarantee you it's gonna be coming this week. I've decided to build a content marketing journal that I'm going to publish, and I'm going to show you everything about how I did it in Affinity Publisher. But that's later. So until then, remember, be good today, be even better tomorrow. See ya.